Hello my friends, it's Canadian Immigration Channel, and this video is about express entry applications. And this story I hear more often than not when potential applicants are telling me that it's not worthwhile for me to apply because I calculated my points in express entry and I do not seem to pass. What should I do in this situation? Why should I create express entry profile? Let's go. But before we proceed, let me just quickly remind you, if you're looking for us to assess your chances for one of the federal or provincial immigration programs to Canada, click on the link cictv.ca/go and one of our specialists will be able to contact you directly and assess your chances. Now, speaking about express entry and what are your chances to immigrate if your score is below the threshold. Do not forget that the threshold itself is kind of volatile, right? It moves up and down around pretty much the same point, if you will, of somewhat close to 460, 470 right now. Though if you're not scoring that high, it's not the end of the story. The faster, the sooner you create your express entry profile, carefully create your profile, the higher your chances that you will be able to immigrate to Canada. Let me just briefly, for the sake of this video, give you an outline why it may be worthwhile to go ahead with this. Now, consider the situation where you got 400 plus points. Still not enough for you to be selected, but 400 plus is a very good standpoint. Well, with this situation, you might consider yourself being one of the applicants who are invited by provincial authorities. Now, there are provinces such as New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Ontario which are directly inviting applicants with the scores 400 plus. Now, in Ontario, by the way, there are two separate programs which are doing this. One of them is so-called classical, if you will, OINP, right? Express entry stream, which is inviting applicants with different NOC codes with a threshold of at least 400 points. The other one is Ontario Tech Pilot Program, which is taking consideration and applying and taking applicants from the pool specifically under several NOC codes which are applicable to software developers, IT consultants, and so on. So either one of these programs might be working for you. Again, you have to have 400 plus scores. For Ontario Tech Pilot, though, it has to be a bit higher. It should be somewhat close to 430, 440, depending on when you're applying, because this selection itself is kind of volatile as well. Now, speaking about the circumstances, when you got 300 plus points, you might consider yourself being selected by the province of Alberta. Alberta has the number of selections which were taking applicants throughout the last several months successfully from express entry pool, and in our previous videos we were discussing which NOC codes were traditionally popular in Alberta. When I'm saying traditionally popular, it means that they were popular constantly throughout the number of selections, because there was a whole range of those NOC codes and people were invited under absolutely different occupations here and there. But there are some NOC codes which are statistically are on the rise, statistically are, if you will, on the edge of the selection by Alberta, and you may want to reconsider your application and look at your case, right, if you want to be invited by Alberta. Let me just give you a quick example. You are in NOC 2173 as a software developer. If you want to increase your chances to be selected by Alberta, and I'm talking about today, by the day of recording this video, I may probably consider myself under 2171 as an IT consultant. Now, if you still do not have enough points, if your NOC is not the one which was driven or selected by those provinces, you could still consider yourself applying for provincial nomination. There is Saskatchewan where you could submit your expression of interest. There's Prince Edward Island where you could submit your expression of interest. If that is not enough, well, pre-coronavirus situation tells us that there are external sessions of provinces which are constantly taking applicants outside of Canada, which are going outside, where officers are traveling around the globe and conducting interviews, allowing later on you to apply for provincial nomination. There is Destination Canada event, which is allowing you later on to receive an invitation and later on to apply. There are recruitment missions which are standing aside from it, right, which allow you to get yourself an employer to apply, right? All of those have nothing to do with pilot programs, right, which is an absolutely different story, which could allow you to apply. And by the way, if you also speak French, there are Francophone extreme separate ones which allow Manitoba, for example, to invite you, New Brunswick to invite you. There are separate invitations which were driven by Nova Scotia, by the way, and so on and so on. So if you are looking to apply, your first step has to be this express entry creation, despite the fact that you might have something as low as 300 101 point, right? If you're an elderly applicant, and so on and so on. So if you really want to start your journey towards immigration, Express Entry is the best start. And then out of there, you start to, if you will, go through this thread and see if you could go left or right, if one of the provincial programs will be working for you. Now, if you want us to assess your chances, as I said before, go ahead, click on the link cictv.ca/go, and we will be glad to help you out. Stay tuned with us, stay safe, and subscribe for the channel.